Hello angels. I love how many reminders I get every day. When is the next vocabulary lesson coming, ma'am? We're waiting for the next class. And I'm so happy that you're loving the series and the choice of words. So, how are these words selected? Okay, let me share with you that I have two major criteria. First, I look for high frequency words. Which ones? The ones on major competitive exams. It could be like SSC, Bank PO, GRE, Defense, CAT, IELTS, TOEFL, even UPSC, CLAT and GMAT. Now some of these exams will directly test vocab, and in some of them the words are asked in comprehension, synonyms, antonyms, sentence correction or completion. The second logic that I use is I pick words that are neither too common nor too obscure. Words that can be used in daily English conversations and writings and will make you sound like an advanced and fluent English speaker even if you're not appearing for any exam. And then of course, I try to explain the words with the help of the root words in a simple and interesting way so that you understand the meaning of every single word deeply and intuitively, and you never have to memorize any of them. So hit the subscribe and that bell. Conquer words, conquer the world. Let's dive into 35 words with their meanings, examples, synonyms, antonyms, and a quiz right at the end. Okay, let's get cracking. Our first 5 high-frequency words are exemplary, exonerate, exorbitant, expedite, and explicit. Now they all come from the prefix ex. Ex means out, as in exit, or former, like your ex, or beyond, as in exceed. Now our first word is exemplary. Exemplary means it's so good that it serves as a model. It's outstanding. Think of it as example plus airy, which means related to an example. An example is something that's taken out from the rest, which are like average. So the root word ex here has a meaning of beyond and out, meaning outstanding. Example, her exemplary leadership saved the company. The soldier received an award for exemplary bravery. Teachers often refer to exemplary students, those who go above and beyond. Synonyms of exemplary are model, ideal, and commendable. Antonyms are unworthy and disgraceful. Our next word is exonerate. Exonerate means to clear from blame or accusation. Now, if we break up the word, we get ex, meaning out, and onus, which is like a burden or a responsibility. So exonerate means to remove, to free from a burden or from a heavy load. The new evidence exonerated the wrongly convicted man, freed them from blame. After a long investigation, she was finally exonerated, cleared. Synonyms of exonerate are acquit, absolve, and vindicate. Antonyms are blame, convict, and condemn. Word number 3 is exorbitant. Exorbitant means unreasonably high, usually referring to price. Think of the word exorbitant as ex, meaning out, plus orbit, meaning track or path, like off the track, like a price that's going out of limits, excessive. Think of exit plus orbit, like a price is so high that it's out of this world. The hotel charged exorbitant prices during the festival. Chinese influencers have recently come out on social media and shared the true value of exorbitant branded goods. Idiomatically, we may say to cost an arm and a leg. To be exorbitant. I've seen many students confuse exorbitant with another similar sounding word, exuberant. Now, exuberant has uber, which means over. So think of it as overflowing energy, like bubbly. Whereas exorbitant is about being too expensive. Synonyms of exorbitant are excessive, outrageous, and astronomical. Antonyms are reasonable, modest and fair. Our next word is expedite. Expedite means to speed up a process. One memory hack is to think of it as express plus speed. So to make things go faster. It's like express shipping, which is expedite. The manager was asked to expedite the approval process. Amazon offers expedited shipping for urgent orders. Idiomatically, we also say to fast track something. Synonyms of expedite are accelerate, hasten and facilitate. Antonyms are delay, hinder and obstruct. Our next word is explicit. Explicit means something is clear, direct and leaves no room for confusion. It's often used for instructions or content. Remember, X means out. So explicit is like something came out of the hidden layers. Example, the teacher gave explicit instructions for the project. The movie had explicit language and scenes. Songs labeled explicit on Spotify have swear words, which means that there'll be nothing hidden. Everything will be direct, clear and out in the open. Implicit is the opposite. It means unspoken and implied. Explicit means clearly stated. Synonyms are clear, unambiguous and straightforward. Antonyms are vague, implicit and unclear. Our next 4 high-frequency words are extricate, exult, expatriate and exigent. These are also from the prefix X. Remember that X means out as in exit or former like an X or beyond as in exceed. So our next word is extricate. To extricate means to free from a difficult or a tangled situation, to pull yourself out of something messy. Memory hack. Think of it as exit plus tricky. So you're getting out of a tricky situation. He managed to extricate himself from the bad contract. Rescue teams extricate people from collapsed buildings after earthquakes. Idiomatically, we also say getting out of a tight spot. Synonyms of extricate are disentangle, liberate and rescue. Antonyms are entangle, trap and ensnare. Our next X word is exult. Exult means to celebrate, to rejoice greatly. Usually if there's some success or victory, it's like jumping with joy, to leap out with joy. One memory hack, think of extra ultra joy, jumping for extreme happiness. Fans exulted when their team won the championship. She exulted in her success after years of hard work. Be careful, don't confuse this with exalt. Exalt has ALT. ALT is altitude, so it means to raise something up. Exult means to celebrate something. Synonyms of exult are rejoice, celebrate and delight. Antonyms are mourn, lament and despair. Word number 8 is expatriate. An expatriate is a person living outside their native country, also called expats for short. Memory hack. Think of it as expatriate, someone who's left their country. Many expatriates work in Dubai for tax benefits. You will find expatriate groups of foreign nationals that work in your country. You know, they often get together as a group of expats. Synonyms of expatriate are emigrant and exile. Antonyms, repatriate and citizen. Our next word is exigent. Exigent means urgently demanding attention or requiring immediate action. It describes situations that cannot wait. There's some pressure, there's some necessity involved if something is exigent. It means it is critical and time sensitive, like an exigent deadline or an exigent crisis. A memory hack. Exigent sounds like exit urgent. Something is so pressing that you must act now. Climate change is an exigent threat requiring global action. Synonyms of exigent are pressing, urgent, acute, imperative and stringent. Antonyms are non-urgent, trivial, lax, lenient and low priority. Now, what is the difference between exigent and urgent? There's a subtle difference between the two. Urgent is a general word. Exigent is more formal and is used mostly for situations. The hospital faced exigent blood shortages after the disaster. She sent an urgent email, so that can be anything. Exigent is usually like an important situation. And now it's shout out time. A quick shout out to Nymphas Joseph, who's been learning grammar and now vocabulary with us. I love how you're using a pen and notebook and you're making notes and you're truly learning the content. Thank you for sharing your notes with us. I am very proud of you. And if you also want to shout out in my next video, share your experience below. And don't forget the hashtag ChetChatters. Our next 6 words are esoteric, ebullient, edify, effervescent, eccentric and egregious. Word number 10 is esoteric. If something is esoteric, it is understood by only a small group with specialized knowledge, and it can be obscure. This can apply to various fields, from art to literature, maybe philosophy, maybe spiritual concepts. The esoteric nature stems from being unusual and understood in a limited way. The professor's lecture on quantum physics was too esoteric for most students. Tantric practices are often considered esoteric due to their secretive nature. Synonyms for esoteric are arcane, cryptic and abstruse. Antonyms are mainstream, common and accessible. Now remember, we had learnt the word cryptic in our C words lesson, and at ChetChat we also learned those subtle differences between words that sometimes even native speakers may not know. So now let's look at the difference between cryptic and esoteric. Both these words relate to things that are hard to understand, and in a way they are synonyms. But there are subtle small differences. Cryptic means deliberately mysterious or obscure, often to hide the meaning, like a code or a riddle. Okay? Esoteric just means that it is understood only by a small group with specialized knowledge. It's not hidden, it's not secretive, it's just something kind of exclusive with a small niche audience. Our next word is ebullient. Ebullient means full of enthusiasm and energy, bubbling with excitement. One memory hack, think of it as Ebullient. So imagine a bull charging with excitement, something like that. The children were ebullient after winning the competition. Ranveer Singh is often described as ebullient due to his high energy persona. Idiomatically, we would say bursting with joy. Synonyms of ebullient are exuberant, vivacious and effervescent. Antonyms are gloomy, lethargic and apathetic. Our next word is edify. Edify means building minds like buildings, okay? To instruct, uplift or morally improve someone. Literally to construct their knowledge or character. Now what is the difference between edify and modify? Edify is to improve or build something. Modify is to change something. A similar word is edifice. Edifice is like a large big building like the Taj Mahal. Edify is to build up a person's mind or spirit, like constructing a strong structure. Great books edify the mind and soul. The Guru's teachings edified his followers. Synonyms of edify are enlighten, educate and uplift. Antonyms are mislead, corrupt and degrade. Our next word is effervescent. Effervescent means bubbly, lively and full of energy, like bubbles coming out of a drink. If someone is effervescent, they have a bubbly personality. Her effervescent laughter made everyone smile. The effervescent energy of Bollywood dance numbers is infectious. Synonyms of effervescent are vivacious, sparkling and animated. Antonyms are dull, flat and listless. Our next word is eccentric. Eccentric means thoda crack, like unconventional, slightly strange or quirky. Like how we say they are slightly crack, you know. Okay, I'm kidding, but one memory hack is an eccentric person. When you think of them as eccentric, it means they are off-center. These people are unusual or they are slightly strange, but they are not irrational or harmful. Idiomatically, we say they are marching to their own drum. Example, Sheldon Cooper with his quirky interests was considered eccentric. Einstein with his unusual hair and mannerisms was also considered eccentric in his times. Synonyms of eccentric are quirky, oddball and unconventional. Antonyms are conventional, ordinary and mainstream. Word number 15 is egregious. Egregious means outstandingly bad or shocking. The word egregious actually has gone through the most dramatic changes in meaning. It used to mean remarkably good and now it means outstandingly bad. Let me tell you the little story. Around the 1500s, standing out in a good way was what egregious was. In ancient Rome, when you were set apart from the flock, it implied distinction, like a champion racehorse. Over time, people began using it sarcastically for things that stood out as absurd or offensive. Example, oh, that's an egregious idea, meaning it's a terrible idea. Like how sometimes we say, that's genius, when we want to mock stupidity. Think of a black sheep which stands out from the flock, which is considered a bad one. Today, egregious means glaringly bad. An egregious error is a blatant mistake. Egregious misconduct is unforgivable behavior. Language can sometimes be ironic, like terrific once meant terrifying and now means great. Synonyms of egregious are flagrant, glaring and atrocious. Antonyms are minor, negligible and excusable. Okay, if you're making notes, then I want you to take a screenshot of your vocab notes. Put it on your Instagram story and tag me at ChetChat 101. Make sure you follow our page and who knows, I might share your story on my page. So our next 4 high frequency words are ephemeral, epitome, epilogue and epiphany. They all come from the prefix epi, meaning upon, over, above or around. The first epi word is ephemeral. Ephemeral means lasting for a very short time, like fleeting. The original meaning was living upon a single day. Over time, it was generalized to talk about anything transient or fleeting. TikTok trends are ephemeral, viral one day, forgotten the next. The cherry blossom's beauty is ephemeral, fading in a week. Synonyms of ephemeral are temporary, fleeting and transient. Antonyms are permanent, eternal and everlasting. Next up is epitome. Epitome means the perfect example of something, like quintessence or the highest form of something. The word is commonly mispronounced, okay? This is not epitome, but it is epitome. She's the epitome of elegance, like Alia Bhatt. His kindness made him the epitome of a good neighbor. Synonyms of epitome are embodiment, quintessence and archetype. Antonyms are antithesis and opposite. The next word is epilogue. Epilogue is the concluding section of a book or a play, a postscript to events. Now, think of dialogue. Dialogue is a speech between two people. A prologue is something that comes before a book or a speech. So, epilogue is something over and above, like epi, over and above a speech or a book. It's the final commentary that lays upon the ending. The epilogues of Avengers series introduce new threats for the Avengers and set the stage for future storylines. The Harry Potter series epilogue jumps 19 years ahead. Synonyms of epilogue are afterward, postscript and conclusion. Antonyms are prologue and preface. The next word is epiphany. Epiphany means a sudden, profound realization. It's like a light bulb moment where the truth suddenly dawns upon you. Like, dimag ki batti khul gayi. Like that moment is an epiphany. Newton had an epiphany about gravity when an apple fell on his head. I had an epiphany. Life is actually quite simple. Synonyms of epiphany are revelation, insight, and awakening. Antonyms are confusion and obliviousness. Another word with the preface epi is epidemic. And you will remember that we covered the word epidemic in our D words lesson. Okay? In case you missed any of our previous episodes, I'm going to drop our links below. We've done 4 lessons on A, B, C, and D words, and it will also help you for exams and of course to become an advanced speaker. Our next 3 high frequency words are equitable, equanimity, and equivocate. They all come from the root equi, meaning equal. And the words with equi tend to have meanings around equality, fairness, justice, uniformity. Our first equi word is equitable. Equitable means fair and impartial. Just think of it as equi, meaning equal, plus able. Like someone is distributing things equally. Quick quiz. What is the difference between equal and equitable? There's a subtle difference. Equal means identical in quantity. Equitable means fairness in distribution. The new tax policy aims to be more equitable for low-income families. A similar idiom that we could use is level the playing field. Synonyms for equitable are fair, just, and unbiased. Antonyms are unjust, biased, and unfair. Our next word is equanimity. Equanimity means mental calmness under stress. Imagine a mind balanced like scales. The Dalai Lama is famed for his equanimity even when asked tough questions. The CEO faced the crisis with remarkable equanimity. Quick quiz. What is the difference between equilibrium and equanimity? Equilibrium is physical balance. Equanimity is emotional balance. She maintained her equanimity while the boat lost its equilibrium. Synonyms of equanimity are composure, poise, and serenity. Antonyms are panic, agitation, and anxiety. Word number 22 is equivocate. Equivocate means to speak ambiguously, to mislead. Think of it as equi, meaning equal, and vocal, meaning to talk. It means to talk equally. This is not actually about being fair or equal or just or balanced. Equivocal means you're weighing your words equally to be extra diplomatic and to avoid any commitment. Think of politicians equal voicing both sides to dodge the truth. Idiomatically, we would say beat around the bush. The suspect equivocated when asked about his alibi. The applicant seemed to be equivocating when we asked him about his last job. Quick quiz. Equate versus equivocate. What is the difference? Equate means to consider equal. Equivocate means to be vague. You can interpret it in many different ways. Okay? Synonyms of equivocate are hedge, waffle, and evade. Antonyms are declare, affirm, and clarify. Lovely. What do you think is the meaning of the word equinox? And if you can guess the meaning, drop me a comment below. And our next 3 E words are euphemism, euphoria, and eulogy. They all have the root word eu. Eu means good, well, pleasant. It's not like ew, but you. All words that have the root word eu are related to happiness, praise, and positivity. Our next word is euphemism. Euphemism is a mild or indirect word or expression which kind of softens something harsh or blunt. It replaces something Bad with good speech. We would say that someone has passed away instead of saying that they have died. This is a euphemism. Politicians use euphemisms like revenue enhancement instead of tax increase. Idiomatically, we would say to sugarcoat the truth. Synonyms for euphemism are polite terms, substitute, and understatement. Antonyms are bluntness and directness. The next word is euphoria. Euphoria is a feeling or state of intense excitement or happiness, like extreme joy. We also say someone is euphoric. Memory hack is euphoria. Think of EU, Europe, and phoria being a feeling. Imagine the joy of traveling to Europe. That's euphoria. Winning the championship filled her with euphoria. The crowd erupted in euphoria when the band took stage. There's also a band called Euphoria. Idiomatically, we say on cloud nine, meaning to feel euphoric. Synonyms of euphoria are elation, ecstasy, and bliss. Antonyms are misery, despair, and depression. Our next word is eulogy. Eulogy is a speech or a piece of writing that praises someone, typically someone who has just died or passed away. If we break down the word, we get eu meaning good plus logos meaning word or speech. So eulogy means good words, often given at a funeral. Her eulogy for her grandfather brought everyone to tears. The president delivered a moving eulogy for the fallen soldiers. Synonyms of eulogy are tribute, commendation, and homage. Antonyms are condemnation, criticism, and insult. Our next three E words are extraneous, extravagant, and extrapolate. They all have the root extra, meaning more than usual, like additional, unnecessary, beyond, or outside limits. If I were to say stop being so extra, it would mean stop over dramatizing everything. So extra means over the top. And our first extra word is extraneous. Extraneous means irrelevant or unrelated to the subject, unnecessary. So what is the difference? Extra versus extraneous? There's a subtle difference between these two words. So if you say, you've given me extra information, it means additional, more than required. But if I say, you've given me extraneous information, it means that the information is useless, it's not relevant, it's unrelated and unnecessary. So extraneous has a negative connotation to the word. The report was full of extraneous details that distracted from the main point. Idiomatically, we would say TMI, too much information. When someone shares extraneous personal details, we would say TMI. Synonyms of extraneous are irrelevant, superfluous, and non-essential. Antonyms are essential, relevant, and necessary. Our next word is extravagant. Extravagant means excessive, wasteful, or going beyond reasonable limits, often in spending or behavior. The pronunciation of the word is extravagant. The focus is on the second syllable stra. Extravagant, not extravagant. Example, Anant and Radhika Ambani's wedding was extravagant. He lived an extravagant lifestyle, buying sports cars and designer clothes. Synonyms of extravagant are lavish, excessive, and opulent. Antonyms are frugal, modest, and economical. Word number 28 is extrapolate. Extrapolate means to predict something on the basis of known data and trends, to infer, to estimate something from current information. It's like using your current trends to guess the future outcome, okay? If a video, suppose, gets 20,000 likes in the first 2 days, then you can extrapolate that it might cross 1 million views. Are you going to give me a like right now? The CEO extrapolated next year's profits based on the quarter's growth. Synonyms are infer, project, and estimate. Antonyms are underestimate, ignore and disregard. So tell me, what would be the meaning of the word extraterrestrial? Now you can extrapolate the meaning from the root word extra and territory and leave me a comment below if you can guess the meaning. Okay? Our next 5 E words are empirical, enervate, enigmatic, embezzle and emaciated. They all come from the root words mn, which means in, into, cause to be or put into. Our next word is empirical. Empirical means based on observation or experience rather than theory. The doctor relied on empirical evidence from clinical trials. Indian pharmaceutical companies use empirical research to develop generic medicines. Synonyms of empirical are observational, experimental and factual. Antonyms are theoretical, speculative and hypothetical. Now many students say empirical, but this word is pronounced as empirical. Empirical, okay? Word number 30 is enervate. Enervate means to weaken or drain energy, like exhausted, tired, fatigued or knackered. Memory hack. Think of it as E-nerve-ate. Imagine someone losing their nerve, which means losing their courage or their energy. The scorching Delhi heat enervated the marathon runners. Corruption scandals enervate public trust in institutions. Synonyms of enervate are exhaust, debilitate and sap, like being sapped out. Antonyms are energize, invigorate and strengthen. Next up is enigmatic. Enigmatic means mysterious or puzzling. The root word enigma means a riddle and enigmatic means difficult to understand fully. It leaves the observer with a sense of uncertainty or ambiguity. The Mona Lisa's smile remains enigmatic. Everyone interprets it in a different way. Indian classical music's raga system seems to be enigmatic to beginners. Synonyms are cryptic, perplexing, mysterious and ambiguous. Now we learnt the word ambiguous in our A words lesson and I'm going to drop a link for all the sessions below. Okay, the antonyms are clear, obvious and transparent. Our next word is embezzle. Embezzle means to steal money that you're responsible for or that belongs to your employer. The bank manager embezzled 50 lakhs over 5 years. An employee may add a fake worker to the payroll system and divert the funds to themselves. This would also be a form of embezzlement. Synonyms of embezzlement are misappropriate, pilfer and defraud. Antonyms are reimburse, repay and compensate. Our next word is emaciated. Emaciated means abnormally thin due to starvation or sickness, like starving thin. It describes extreme unhealthy thinness. It's just not about being slim or skinny, okay? Emaciated has a negative medical tone. Idiomatically, we would say all skin and bones. After being lost in the desert for days, he looked emaciated and weak. Street dogs in Mumbai often appear emaciated during monsoons. Synonyms are gaunt, skeletal and wasted. Antonyms are plump, healthy and robust. Our next two words are egotistical and egocentric. Both these words come from the root word ego, meaning self or I. Egotistical means excessively self-centered. These people have a very high sense of self-importance. They think their abilities and their achievements are very high. A memory hack. Think of someone saying, "I'm the best, I'm the best." That's egotistical. Celebrities are sometimes criticized for being egotistical and vain. Synonyms of egotistical are arrogant, conceited, and narcissistic. Antonyms are humble, modest, and selfless. Quick quiz. What is the difference between egotistic and egoistic? Egotistic is someone who's boastful, self-centered, thinks too highly about their own achievements and usually keeps bragging about their achievements to others. They have excessive pride. This is a negative word. Egoistic is someone who acts in their own self-interest. They primarily focus on their own needs and desires. This is a less negative word. He's a classic egoist. He always puts his own interest first and doesn't seem to care about anyone else's feelings. She's an egotist. She thinks she's the smartest and most talented person in the world. Okay, word number 35 is egocentric. Egocentric means seeing everything in relation to oneself, unable to consider others' perspective. Let's break up the words. Ego, self, plus centric, meaning centered, meaning self-centered. Picture a person standing in the middle of the room thinking, everything revolves around me. That is egocentric. Toddlers are naturally egocentric because they struggle to see other people's viewpoints. His egocentric viewpoints made teamwork impossible. Synonyms of egocentric are self-absorbed, self-focused, and selfish. Antonyms are altruistic, empathetic, and considerate. Excellent, exemplary, exceptional. 35 keywords done, and you're soon becoming a superstar. On your screen is coming up a quiz with 15 questions. Drop the answers in the comments and share this with your friends. I'm going to see you on the other side at 35 F words soon. So, happy learning.